Welcome back everyone to All Things Maroon. I'm your anchor, Alex Whitaker, and today we have some rather enticing stories. As summertime gets closer and closer, people are thinking about one thing. What can I add to my summer to-do list? Our first story may make you hungry, but it will answer your question. Reporter Ren Music has that story now.
Hi, I'm Ren Music, and we're here at Tasty Tuesdays, hosted at Irvin McDowell Park. This is a great chance for the community to get to know local businesses inside Richmond, Kentucky. We got the chance to meet with Chenault Vineyards and Dreamy Creek Brewery to just the same.
I'm Patrick Fannin. I'm the head brewer here at Dreamy Creek Brewery. I've been here for 6 years. We sell beer for the people that walk in our door. I would say besides that, we just want to be a gathering place for people to come, bring their kids, their dogs, their grandparents, somewhere that people can have a space to be together. And now there's just a sense of everybody knows each other and they're happy to see each other. They have history together. People here have pride in Richmond, even though it's not the bustling metropolis it was back in the day. They have pride with where they came from.
So we are kind of a multi-purpose business. So obviously we are a winery. So one of the big factors is making wine. The second part is private events. So we do a lot of weddings, birthdays, graduations, anniversaries, any celebration that you can imagine. And then the third, I would say, is really community outreach. We really want to be a place where the Richmond community can come together. We do yoga, we do trivia, we do all kinds of music events and concerts. I don't think there's another place quite like this here in Richmond. And so to be somewhere where it's a family-run place, like I literally know the owners by name, they could name every single employee that works here. You just really get that different feel, that different atmosphere. Yes, it is a job, but I truly feel like we're a family as well. And I feel like that extends not just to our staff, but to our customers as well.
If you want to support these local businesses or more, feel free to make your way down to Tasty Tuesdays. For All Things Maroon, I'm Ren Music. Back to you, Alex.
Our next story follows the recently opened Pottery Place in Lexington, Kentucky, where people of all ages can express their creativity through paint. We have Kaylee Farmer on site to introduce us to this artistic venue.
Thank you, Alex. I'm Kaylee Farmer with All Things Maroon, reporting from Lexington, Kentucky at the Pottery Place in Fayetteville Mall. Today we had the chance to sit down with the owner, Brianna Goad, to talk about the new business.
So when I was younger, my mom decided to open a paint and pottery studio in our hometown of Huntington, West Virginia. And when my husband and I moved to Lexington, it was something that I wanted to do. So we actually kept the name that my mom used for her original studios. We outsource our pieces. We have quite a few vendors that we choose from. A lot of it's guesswork and a lot of it just kind of goes on, oh, I like this, or I have 2 kids. I'm like, they would love this. So I think other people's kids would like that too. It's unknown territory for us to do something like this. And my husband and I dealing with other people's timelines, not necessarily our own. When a customer walks in, we explain to them that we're a paint and pottery studio. They come in, they pick their piece out, they paint it. And we're here to help them throughout the process, whether it's helping them with technique, choosing colors. And we do the glazing and firing, and they pick it up a week later. And having a time to create and unwind. And so many people say this is therapeutic for them. And what better way to relax than to have a glass of wine and paint some pottery? Everything's been great. Our first day was great. And our first, month and a half now that we've been open has been awesome. Come paint with us. If you know anyone looking for a summer job, we're hiring.
We had a great time here at the Pottery Place. It's even fun for someone who can't paint like me. Back to you, Alex.
Kaylee, it looks like we're in the same boat. It's good to know places where I can paint my stick figures. Before we get to our next story, First Amendment Week was a hot topic on campus. Abby Powers captured the event on April 17th, where students created their own protest sign in honor of First Amendment Week. Students protested everything from banned books to censorship in the classroom to women's reproductive health and more. Next up, Josue Pacheco informs all us students about decisions being made for us at the Richmond Chamber of Commerce.
Hello, I'm Josue Pacheco, and I'm here with All Things Maroon, and we're here at the Kentucky Department of Education to speak with the chair and vice chair of the committee.
You know, we're all about learning and supporting learning, both at the K-12 level, moving on into post-secondary. We want it to be a continuum so that the key thing is becoming a competent well-informed learner, because you're always going to need to be doing that. Well, we are continuing to work on what we call United We Learn. United We Learn is a way of supporting local communities in defining what they want their student outcomes to be. In other words, what competencies and skills they want students to have, and also defining how do you know we've done that? So what demonstration of learning, how do you document student competencies and outcomes?
We are appointed to the Board of Ed by the governor, then confirmed by the Kentucky Senate, and our role is to lead in an independent way over the Department of Education. So we serve as the board for the Kentucky Department of Education. So that's kind of how we go about. We meet once every other month, so regularly scheduled meetings 6 times a year, usually in a 2-day format. We come in on the afternoon of the first day and finish in the morning of the second. You can find minutes of our meetings. You can find on the KDE media portal, you can find all of the videos of our meetings. Even our committee meetings are subject to open meetings. So we put all of the video that is available from those meetings on the board. I would just add how much that it really is an honor to be serving public education in Kentucky. I just want to put in a big plug for public education teachers, administrators, staff, all of our students. It's an amazing enterprise.
Well, this visit to the Kentucky Department of Education sure taught me a lot. Hopefully you learned a thing or two too. I'm Josue Pacheco with All Things Maroon. Back to you, Alex.
Josue, I can safely say that I have. Next, we have quite possibly the cutest news story I've ever seen about the Madison County Animal Shelter's adoption event. Alex Johnson has that story now.
I'm Alex Johnson reporting for All Things Maroon. Behind me is the 2024 Madison County Adoption Potty, an event held by Madison County Animal Shelter in order to help boost adoption in the area.
The event is full of life today, April 13, 2024, as local vendors and live musicians alike help to promote adoption in Madison County. To find out more about the event and the organization over it, we spoke with Jill Williams, the Madison County Deputy Judge Executive.
You always think about county government and you think about maybe the road department, or you maybe think about emergency management, or even jail operations, but the animal shelter is also one of our departments, and so it's always exciting when we can have events like this where we can bring people out, help adopt out animals, and help them find their forever homes.
According to Forbes, the U.S. homes that own a pet have increased over recent years, running from 64% in 2020 to 66% in 2022. However, there are still an incredibly high number of animals in shelters, around 6.3 million admitted nationally each year. Even though euthanasia figures of animals in shelters are high, events like these help new furry friends find their forever home. The Madison County Animal Shelter has held events like these in the past with multiple vendors and organizations supporting in their cause. We spoke with Ashley Renton.
We have puppies up for adoption. We also have other dogs up for adoption, and we do fundraisers and events to help us pay for their vetting and their costs that go along with the dogs that we adopt out. All of our dogs are fully vetted, vaccinated, they're spayed, neutered, and microchipped before they find their homes. We have a process when it comes to adopting dogs out, and we are here just trying to promote our animals and get them good homes.
The Madison County Animal Shelter is thrilled with the outcome of the event. If you missed your chance to adopt today, more information can be found on their website. This is Alex Johnson and Christopher Robin reporting for All Things Maroon.
I have 2 cats, but after hearing this story, I'm tempted to go get them a new friend. The rec center at EKU has always been a busy place. Recently, they hosted a rock climbing event. Josue, take it away again.
Hello, I'm Josue Pacheco, and we're here with Maroon Platoon at the 19th Annual Climbing Competition.
Rock climbing has been a staple here at Eastern for many years now, often being considered one of the highlights here at EKU's Recreation Center. But who is behind the competition and events? Well, luckily enough, we got to speak to the organizer of the event, Dakota McClendon.
I'm the assistant director in charge of adventure programs, and I oversee the climbing space as well as some other things on campus. This is our 19th annual climbing competition, so we've been holding this ever since 2003, I think, with maybe a gap year or two. It's our opportunity to reach out to the community, reach out to the students, and give them a fun, competitive vibe. Each one of the boulder problems and routes behind us are scored based on difficulty. So a good chunk of it is grip strength. There's some physicality to it, so some calisthenic style strengths. A lot of it is technical skill, though, the ability to understand how your body moves in space. It's a learning, growing community. It's super awesome. And everybody's trying to help each other, so I think that's really cool. And everyone starts somewhere, so like you're gonna be bad at it at first, but that's okay. This competition, I think, has shown me that we have the capacity for bigger scale competitions. Very impressed with our setting team who created all of the climbs. I'm really impressed with the turnout, so I think next year we might try and start reaching out even further. We had some different schools show up, different people that weren't part of the EKU community show up. So I'm wondering now if we have the capacity to maybe start branching into the collegiate climbing world for like USA Climbing.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you want to dip your toes in the realm of climbing, EKU is the place to go. So join us and climb to the top. I'm Oswego Pacheco, Maroon Platoon. Back to you.
Something Kentucky takes pride in is being Appalachian, and we've always tried to support Appalachian creative minds. Our next story follows Appalachian artist Shayna Neliu. Abby Powers has that story now.
Here in the heart of Appalachia, Kentucky is home to many diverse crafts passed down from generation to generation. All Things Maroon recently got to speak to a local quilter nestled in the city of Urban.
I was born in Breathitt County, and my mother and grandmother had a quilt shop. My grandmother started in about 1988, and I was raised in that quilt shop. Or my grandmother and my mother kind of instilled in me Appalachian and the traditional quilt patterns with the more modern fabrics. Lone Stars and log cabins and single Irish chain and double Irish chains, just patterns that our grandmothers made and our great-grandmothers made, but adding the modern colors and the modern fabrics to that. I think that it's such an important thing for Appalachia because everybody has quilts, and it's something that's really important to people. I hope that when they see the quilts that I make, that invokes memories of their grandmother or their great aunt or whoever it was in their family that quilted. It's just something that's so ingrained in your culture is arts and crafts, and everybody has quilts on their bed or in their coffers that a great-grandmother made or their great-aunt made. So there's all these little touches in your home that you don't find away from here. And I think that that's so important to continue and so important to me that I decided to try and preserve that and try to push that forward. We're not all hillbillies and rednecks. I think that that's something that we really need to show the world is the arts and crafts, the makers, the musicians, and I think there's a lot of people doing a lot of good work in that area right now.
This is Abby Powers with All Things Maroon. Back to Alex in the studio.
Hearing stories like Shayna's is incredibly uplifting for us Appalachian folk. A very big topic of discussion that's come about in the past couple of years is students using AI. Our next story is a panel discussion between EKU professors' thoughts on the matter. John Clark moderated the panel, and here's what the professors had to say.
I'm John Clark, and welcome to our panel on artificial intelligence. It is newly called Artificial Intelligence and Academic Intellectuals, AI squared for short. And yes, I just made that up. Dr. Previs? Okay. Dr. Previs, are there any uses for AI in public relations?
Absolutely. So if you look at the definition of public relations, it's the management of an organization of communication between an organization and its public. And AI can certainly help us in that. Crisis management is a really big one, but AI enables PR practitioners to monitor media reports, both proactively before the crisis hits and then after. Now, one of the things that we really have to be cautious of in public relations, we are very much relationship driven. So what this means is we cannot lose the human touch.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're gonna switch to AI and art. So I'm gonna address you first, Wendy, if that's okay. Okay, so some people say that art that uses AI is talentless. Do you consider art created through AI to be considered an art form?
Yeah, absolutely, it is. It is definitely an art form because, with generative AI, whatever program you're using, say it's Midjourney or DALL-E, it's just a tool. It's no different than a tool that you would use than a canvas or a paintbrush, or whether you're watercoloring or oil painting or even just drawing with your pencil. It's just a tool, but It's more of a, you could look at it as a digital tool that has compacted all the tools into one.
So you see it more of as a toolkit.
Yes, absolutely. It's a
than
tool.
taking the
It's the
place of
best.
an artist.
To me, it's the best toolkit. It's revolutionized all of art in itself, the entire art community. You want to talk about the vision?
Well,
Yeah.
same question for me then?
Yeah, please.
So I would have to begin with what I would say the definition of art is, and it's simply bringing your vision into form. There is no vision that anybody can have that's going to be exactly expressed the way that they think it's going to be from before they begin. This is Michelangelo, man. That's not me. So he said that the sculpture is already inside the block, and it's up to the artist to discover it. And you can talk to a lot of artists who want to, traditional artists, primitive artists, whatever you want to call it, that it's a process of discovery. It's an exploration. They don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. They're part of the journey, just as the art piece itself. There's this exchange happening between the viewer and the thing that you're creating. I mean, that's Alex Gray. So how is this any different? My process of exploration and discovery with using artificial intelligence.
We're going to move now to Dr. Lisa Blue. Okay, Dr. Blue. How do you think artificial intelligence is going to transform education as we know it?
It is turning education on its head because we have to rethink everything. And it's not that we haven't been there before. I can remember when graphing calculators first became mainstream, and we were required to learn how to use them for homework, but then they were strictly banned from exams. Now we have math exams where certain portions are not calculator specific, but in other ones you have to demonstrate proficiency with this tool.
Right. Now you have to use the tool.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And if we are not teaching students appropriate use of the Gen A technologies, then they are going to be left behind when they enter the workforce.
Okay. Thank you all once again for being here. Thank you all for paying attention. I hope that you all decide to go out and educate yourselves. Never take what anybody says as gospel. Always educate yourself. Go out and learn for yourself. And once again, thank you all for being here. And thank you all at home.
You're awesome.
Thank you. No, you all are awesome. Thank you.
From chamber meetings to Appalachian artists to the controversial topic of AI in classrooms, Richmond and AKU is a rather eventful place to be this time of year. The end of the semester is always a stressful time for kids, but it's a relief to know that EKU is ending the semester with a bang. I'm Alex Whitaker from All Things Maroon. Thank you for watching.